with you. And you guys were like, yeah, go ahead, show off my game because I want exposure. So, for God's sakes, Five Nights at Freddy's I just brought up. You go on YouTube, you'll probably find either Markiplier or PewDiePie has already done something on it easily. And I can say those names, and people who are out there would be like, oh, yeah, I've seen his videos. Like, need I say more?
Right.
But trust me, I watch Markiplier. He's funny sometimes. Subjective. But yeah, it's kind of like, at the same time, it's Japan is what it really comes down to. They just don't understand YouTube in the way that it's being used. It's too easy for you, Brian. I'm sorry. Hi.
It's been a while.
So it's not one of those games where someone's shooting a bottle rocket up their nose and getting smacked by a samurai princess and having to eat a sumo wrestler's jockstrap for money or something.
I was going to go as far as Tokyo Drift. But
Oh, God.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
The
So,
stepchild of the Fast and Furious franchise.
it's Japan that does that. And even YouTubers will say they'll get into contact with the company, the American branch, and they'll say, like, yeah, we totally understand, but our bosses over there just do not get it. We try and tell them, but. So, yeah, Nintendo, you're getting kind of closer to be like
Mario.
Yeah, you're getting kind of close to understand, like, yeah, we want you to make more of our content, but we kind of, again, that's why they have registered users. I'm using air quotes. So
You guys are behind the 8 ball from Sony and Microsoft. You may want to take advantage of this.
yeah, because let's be honest, Nintendo, people who love Nintendo will show that they love Nintendo. For God's sakes, how many freaking like Let's Plays of like every single Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda's, Smash Brothers like tournaments are on there as well, and
like the new one this past week was the guy setting the new world record for beating Super Mario World on SNES.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I think I just saw that one. Oh, King of Kong, for God's sakes. That's an entire documentary on especially who can make the best, get the best and the highest score on Donkey Kong, the original one. He is an old documentary. Actually, the world record, I think right now, the highest guy is like a plastic surgeon here in Maryland, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, if people love your game, let the fans like love it. Let them show it off. But again, big company wants to control the content. So, but then again, what can you say? The video game industry is kind of the same regards to, well, movies as well, because you want to control the content. You want to have those leaks coming out, You don't want to have Hydra. He's back.
Yeah, my man.
Hydra.
I was waiting for it.
That was a wrong one too. I'm sorry.
He stretched it. I don't care. I knew it was coming. I saw he's just like looks. He looks
Just like
down.
I did to her
For those of
last
you,
night.
obviously they can't see us. Yeah, he's just like looking down. He's like, and what's bigger than hacking? Yeah, movies.
Yeah.
Oh, you could have just said American Sniper. Yeah.
Oh.
Chapow. Yeah. Speaking of American Sniper, I'm glad you brought that up, Bradley. Just kidding.
I do what I can.
The most epic movie
Yeah.
ever.
Well,
Unless you're a liberal.
pretty much.
Oh, God.
Yeah, American Sniper. What a movie! This is going to be the outcast of January, because usually we say that January is the dumping ground of the movie industry. Okay?
Nothing comes out.
Nothing good comes from January. Yeah. But however, American Sniper did another $64.3 million this weekend,
damn!
bringing it to $200.1 million. The Boy Next Door, the J-Lo one, where they... Yeah, we'll talk about that in one sec. 15 million, okay, for a movie that was budgeted at, like, maybe less than, or between 6 to 9 million, I think.
A quarter of that was her salary for the damn movie.
Yeah.
So, real quick with this, I didn't talk too much about it, but these kind of movies, like, they're the ones I think that the same producer did The Purge or whatever, or was it Paranormal Activity. Anyway, this producer is he has very low budget films, but they make this kind of money. And he keeps being able to continue making these kind of movies or whatever. And that's great, I mean, the movie didn't get the best reviews, but it's J-Lo and a sex scene, and she did bear all, and
that's why you sold.
and people were cheering and clapping after that scene, from what I understand. So
Well,
you know what?
Looks like I'm out $8 tomorrow morning.
So what can you say about that? Paddington
Videotaped on the camera.
yeah. Paddington, and we'll talk more about teddy bears later, came in at $2.3 million, totaling at $40.1 million. Okay, so down to business here. Continuing my trend to see all the Oscar movies, if at all possible. I still only have, I think I have another 4 weeks total to see these movies. So I'm on track right now, but I finally got to see the one I've been looking forward to seeing, Birdman. Now,
There you go. Can't do it.
yeah, so before I'll hold off on my rating on this one. Okay, so Birdman, we talked about this. I've been trying to talk about it for a long time anyway. Michael Keaton pretty much playing himself almost as a washed up superhero actor. Instead of being Batman 2 times, he actually played Birdman, this fictitious superhero in this world, almost 3 times in there. While we don't see that, we do hear about it. Okay, so he's on a quest almost to redeem himself, and he's got a great supporting cast in there. Edward Norton is he deserves this Oscar nomination. He deserves the Oscar win, as far as I'm concerned right now. You have Emma Stone in there. Naomi Watts was in there. While I'm not the biggest fan of either of them, they both did a really good job. Emma Stone proved she can hold her own with the other two. What it is you have Michael Keaton, and he's the washed up actor. He's in New York, and he's created his own retelling of this play. Okay. And it's an older story in there, and he ends up having to hire Edward Norton, who's also a celebrity actor at the time, though, too. He's very well known, and in the background, they're talking about superhero movies. You see on the news them saying, "Oh, Robert Downey Jr. signs for another superhero Iron Man movie or whatever." And he doesn't.
God damn it!
And pretty much what happens is that he didn't want to be. Michael Keaton's character didn't want to be typecast. He got tired of being typecast as Birdman, which is, understandable.
Yeah.
Especially, and if you're looking at it from a movie industry point of view, celebrities will do these movies, the popcorn flicks, to get their name out there, but then they'll focus on something more serious. But they're always going to be typecast as, "You're Spider-Man. You're the Joker. You're whoever," and it made it really interesting for those of us that do follow that kind of stuff or whatever. It is not in any
More like
way
social commentary almost.
It is in no way a superhero movie. You see literally Birdman character, okay, for maybe 15 minutes, give or take, okay? Overall though, and this is the best part about this movie, I think, one of the best parts, is the cinematography in this, okay? That is nominated for an Oscar. Now, the cinematography, it's like putting a camera on the back of Brad, okay, whenever he does move around to every room, okay? You never see them really change any view, not like any view, but it's like they don't do like any like cuts at all, if that makes sense.
It's all one smooth transition.
It's all one smooth transition. So if they're going into another room, it barely goes black, but it's just like you went into another room just for 1 second, and then, and that's it. So if he's going up to the roof, you're following him up the whole time. You won't realize that they show him flying, but he's really not, whatever though too. So I give it a 4.5 out of 5 right now. I could change it if I really wanted to. Now, here's some of my issues with this movie, okay? Have any of you guys ever seen Black Swan?
Yeah.
Okay. Bradley, do you know anything? That's okay.
Bit.
Okay, so a couple years ago, Natalie Portman came out with this movie, and it's about the whole White Swan, Black Swan actual play. Or was it play or
ballet?
Ballet, yeah. Point is, though, she was cast as the White Swan, but she's trying to do this part for the Black Swan where it shows like her darker side or whatever. She's kind of like this nice, sweet little girl, but has to show her dark side as being the bad kind of whatever. Very, very similar to how far is she willing to go to get this part. Okay. When you do comparisons of that movie to Birdman, you can definitely see this is a guy's Black Swan.
Okay.
In other words, I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all, okay? Because you see Michael Keaton push himself. How far will he go for redemption? and just like, it's almost like watching a guy kind of slowly lose his mind and getting lost in this part or whatever. He's got voices talking to him as if it's himself, but in the Birdman. We'll call
character.
It, the Birdman character. While you don't see him, you see him. Hey, this place smells like ball sack, whatever. Just that kind of stuff or whatever. He's talking in the Beetlejuice voice in a way. Is what some people are saying, and he's just talking in that Michael Keaton voice like that or whatever. And I like that a lot. And that's not a bad thing that it's very much like this movie or whatever. I suggest, for anybody who's really into like Hollywood and finds it fascinating about like actors and what they go through and stuff like that, it's a really good character study film. Was it the best movie I had seen in 2014? No. I would say I'll hold it higher than American Sniper. Okay. I might slide that into my number 3 slot right now. Okay. Does Michael Keaton deserve the Oscar? I'd say he would, he's Michael Keaton playing Michael Keaton or whatever. I'm biased because Batman 1989 is still one of my favorite superhero movies ever, okay? So, getting to see this
Something
or whatever.
Sounds jaded.
Yeah. The biggest thing right now, and
He's your Bob Kraft to his Tom Brady.
at least I'm not in love with his balls. This brings me to my next point. Okay, the SAG Awards were this weekend, and I won't go into that too much, but I will
SAG Award and balls. Crap.
set that one up tonight.
It keeps on.
The Screen Actors Guild Awards were this past weekend, and this is kind of like the telling of what's to come in the Oscars, okay? Right now, Birdman won for Best Ensemble Cast, all right, which is a really, really good sign, okay, for Birdman. Right now, Birdman, I know you didn't see Birdman, but you did get to see Theory of Everything, okay? What could you say about Eddie Redmayne in that part? Pretty much he was Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, I've never, I don't think there's ever been a real role like it, but to kind of just start from, hi, I'm healthy college guy, to hi, this disease has taken over my whole life and I can only convey emotion like, facial twitches and this. And yeah, he went all in on that.
Well, if this was really the Super Bowl, okay, this would be a much more interesting game, okay? Pretty much,
that's a bad thing for this year's Super Bowl.
And I hate to...
Guys, eye twitches.
Yeah. For some people, the Oscars is like the Super Bowl, okay, for movies. It's the best way to put it. You have Birdman on one side, you have The Theory of Everything. Both Michael Keaton and Eddie Redmayne are winning Oscars in their own categories. One for Best Drama, one for Best Comedy, musical or whatever. Both the movies are just like, they're right there. No one can tell who's going to win this. Is it going to be Birdman that's going to conquer? Is it going to be Theory of Everything? It's going to be really interesting. I need to see The Theory of Everything to make my review for that. Unfortunately, whatever you want to call it, I did get to see the interview over the weekend also.
Yeah. Wasn't that bad.
Well, Bradley and I had talked about this past week or whatever, or on Tuesday, and maybe I had high expectations. I just wanted to just say, okay, I saw the movie. What was all the fuss about? It was pretty much what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. You go in with that mentality. It's like I said before.
Yeah.
It's a Seth Rogen film. There's going to be a dumb, stupid comedy. Going with that. That's what I got out of it. That's what I enjoyed.
And it had. I think the problem I had with this is all the good jokes were in the trailers.
Yeah,
that's what got me. It's just like, okay, you've
seen it before. It's like, okay, yeah.
It's like, okay, well. And that's what I hate about sometimes with movie trailers is that I love them at the same time, but they
give you too much.
Give me a trailer that gives me the whole movie.
Dude, you got to come in here and smell this.
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's like, oh, crap, there's a hot chick
He's
here.
peanut butter and jealous. They hate us because they ain't us.
No, they don't hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah.
That's not who
Which
says
ended
that?
up being one of the funniest parts of the movie for me, anyway. And I ended up
that puppy.
maybe doing.
You protect that puppy with your life.
Yeah, I might have dozed off near the end. Anyways,
Oh, you missed the puppy.
yeah. If you guys want to get a chance to see it, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, surprisingly, it is.
Why not go save your money and just go see it on there? So, anyway, it's. I don't know. I wanted a funny movie out of it, and I got a few chuckles, but I didn't see what all the big fuss was about. I don't think somebody hacked Sony just because of that movie or whatever.
Pretty much what I've gotten out of Seth Rogen movies since Pineapple Express. Just been kind of, except for This Is the End. That was very funny.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to some other stuff here. So, Mission Impossible 5. It was originally scheduled to come out this year.